Hello there. I'm so glad you could join me tonight. It's just you and me, and the quiet hush of the evening. Tonight we're going to drift down, far below the surface of the ocean, into a world where sunlight fades into a gentle, eternal twilight. A place where strange and delicate creatures glide through the darkness, much like the darkness in your room right now. So, if you will, settle into your pillow. Let your body feel heavy and warm, release any tension you're holding, and let's begin our journey, one gentle fact at a time. Over the next few minutes, I'll share with you 5 glimpses into life in the abyss, each one a quiet, fascinating detail about the creatures who call the trench home. And if your mind begins to wander, or if sleep washes over you, that's perfectly all right. The facts will be here, waiting. If nights like these bring you peace, consider subscribing so I can be here for you whenever you need a gentle voice to guide you into rest. Now, let's descend. Imagine a fish with a transparent dome on its head, as if it wears a delicate, fluid-filled window. The Barreleye fish drifts in the dim twilight of the ocean, its sensitive green eyes glowing softly as they rotate upward, peering through its own skull. It's a silent, patient gaze, searching for the faintest silhouette of a tiny creature passing overhead against the last remnants of light. The fluid inside that shield is perfectly clear, a private observatory in the deep. In this quiet realm, vision is a tender thing, and the Barreleye moves with a slow, almost meditative calm, waiting for a meal to drift into view. Now, think of a familiar garden pill bug, the tiny armored creature that curls up when you touch it. Now, imagine it grown to the size of a small loaf of bread, peacefully roaming across the soft, silty ocean floor. Giant isopods are gentle scavengers, their segmented bodies moving with a deliberate, unhurried grace. They can go months without a meal, their metabolism slowing to a whisper, a silent hum of survival in the cold, crushing depths. There's no rush here, just a timeless drift as they feel their way through the eternal night, sensing the faint chemical traces of something nourishing that has settled from above. Delicate, ear-like fins flutter like ribbons of silk on either side of the Dumbo Octopus as it propels itself through the velvet darkness. There's a profound elegance in its movement, a slow, rhythmic pulsing that seems to dance just above the ancient seabed. Each gentle wave of those fins carries it forward with a quiet grace, its webbed arms trailing like the hem of a flowing garment. It's a creature perfectly suited to a world of immense weight and utter silence, a floating lullaby in the deep. Watching it, you might feel your own breath slow, matching its serene, unhurried rhythm. Deep in the Hadal zone, where the pressure is 1,000 times greater than at the surface, the snailfish lives in a place that feels like another planet. Its body is soft and gelatinous, almost translucent, lacking the rigid bones that would crack under such immense weight. This fluid-like form allows it to blend seamlessly into the cool, heavy stillness of the trench, a living ghost in the water. It simply is there, a quiet pulse of life in a realm so deep that sunlight has never reached it. To imagine this creature is to imagine a world of absolute surrender to the gentle, crushing embrace of the abyss. In the ink-black waters, a tiny, shimmering light appears, a lure like a delicate, glowing pearl suspended in the void. The anglerfish carries this light not as a fire, but as a soft, patient beacon. Inside that tiny orb, a community of symbiotic bacteria produces a gentle, continuous glow, a quiet invitation in the silence. The light doesn't flash or spark, it just hangs there, a steady, luminous curiosity, guiding smaller, inquisitive creatures closer. It's a delicate, natural lantern, a point of warmth and wonder in the vast, quiet tapestry of the deep sea, where every glimmer is a whispered story of survival and stillness. As we drift further into the quiet depths of the ocean, imagine a creature so delicate it seems almost like a dream. Xenophyophores are not animals, not plants, but a single enormous cell, sometimes as large as your hand. They build their homes from the fine, soft sediment that falls through the water, pressing it together into a fragile, sponge-like shape. These gentle giants sit on the seafloor, as still as forgotten sculptures, slowly filtering the drifting particles from the abyssal currents. Their existence is a reminder that life can unfold in the most patient, hidden ways, far from the sun's reach. Now, let your thoughts float a little higher, where a different kind of wonder drifts. The vampire squid, despite its name, is no hunter. It hangs in the water like a silent, velvet lantern, its body a deep, shimmering black touched with hints of red. Rather than chasing prey, it simply waits, opening its soft, webbed arms to catch the gentle rain of marine snow, tiny flakes of organic matter that drift down from the surface world. Its cloak-like webbing ripples with a slow, mesmerizing grace, a living curtain in the dark. This creature embodies a quiet, drifting peace, a life lived entirely in patience. Descending further, we come to the ancient forests of the deep. Deep-sea corals grow with an unimaginable slowness, adding perhaps a millimeter each year. Some of these ivory-white colonies have stood for thousands of years, silent witnesses to the slow turning of the world. In the chill and the quiet, they form serene, luminous groves where tiny, translucent crustaceans drift and find shelter. These forests need no sunlight. They thrive on the gentle currents that carry nourishment to them, a hidden sanctuary of enduring calm. And even deeper, something remarkable stirs. Hydrothermal vents, like warm chimneys on the ocean floor, release shimmering plumes rich with minerals, water so hot it seems to glow like liquid gold against the perpetual darkness. Around this gentle warmth, giant tube worms sway softly, their crimson tips a rare color in this colorless world. These creatures don't rely on the sun at all, but on a quiet chemical harmony, a slow and ancient dance of molecules that sustains an entire hidden ecosystem. It's a place of delicate, quiet abundance, floating in the deep. Finally, we reach the midnight zone, a realm of absolute stillness. Here, the temperature is a constant, cool embrace, unchanged for eons. The water is a vast blue-black space where light never ventures, and pressure becomes a deep, all-encompassing hug. In this profound quiet, the only sound is the rhythmic pulse of the ocean itself, a slow, steady heartbeat that wraps the entire planet in a peaceful slumber. It's easy to imagine the deep as a sleeping giant, breathing softly, holding its secrets in a dreamless, eternal peace. Imagine, if you will, the very deepest pocket of our world's oceans, a place so remote that sunlight has never touched its waters, where the silence is so profound it feels almost solid. Here, in the Hadal zone of the Mariana Trench, a gentle creature known as the snailfish drifts through the midnight blue, weightless and unhurried. It possesses no scales, only a delicate translucent skin that seems to hold the softness of the abyss within itself. Its body is perfectly adapted to this realm, where the pressure is immense yet never crushing, because the fish itself is a tender part of the water, gliding as if it were a single thought moving through a vast, dreaming mind. Shifting your attention just slightly, you might notice other forms suspended in the darkness. These are xenophyophores, single-celled organisms so curiously large and intricate that they seem like forgotten sculptures of the deep. They resemble soft, floating sponges, but they are in fact ancient architects, building delicate branching structures grain by grain, by filtering the finest organic particles from the slow-moving currents. There is a profound patience to their existence. In the quietest rhythms of the abyss, they gather the drifting remnants of life from above and weave them into homes that stand as silent testaments to time. And as your imagination floats upward through the layers of this sunless sea, a most wondrous sight appears. The Barreleye fish, with its crystal-clear, transparent dome arching like a tiny observatory over its head. Its eyes, nestled within that glassy shield, gaze perpetually upward through its own skull toward the faint, shimmering silhouettes of prey drifting in the dim light far above. There is no hurry here. It hovers in serene stillness, turning ever so slightly, waiting with a calm curiosity that mirrors the very nature of the ocean's gentle, unseen currents.
Farther down, where the soft sediment of the seafloor spreads like a blanket of stardust, the giant isopods move with a slow, methodical grace. They resemble oversized pillbugs, familiar to the gardens of the sunlit world, but here they are transformed into quiet guardians of the abyss. Step by delicate step, they scavenge for nutrients that descend in a constant, gentle rain we call marine snow. Tiny organic flakes that have traveled from the surface, carrying remnants of sun and life down into the darkness. Watching their measured progress, one feels a deep sense of peace, as if the isopods are sweeping the ocean floor in an eternal, sacred ritual.
And then, as if from the very heart of this velvet darkness, a small, pulsing glow appears. It is the deep-sea anglerfish, bearing a tiny lantern of bioluminescent bacteria at the tip of a slender stalk that rises from its head. This light is not a sharp beam, but a soft, steady radiance, like a little candle flame burning in the still air of a hidden sanctuary. It beckons, not with urgency, but with a quiet curiosity, drawing other creatures closer in the silent stillness of the trench. And as you picture this gentle glow drifting through the endless night, you might feel your own mind softening, drifting, carried along by the slow, beautiful current of the deep toward a peaceful, dreamless sleep. Now, let your mind drift down into the deep, where the ocean becomes a quiet, velvet world. The Dumbo Octopus floats there, named for the two gentle fins that rise like ears from its soft, rounded body. These fins flutter so slowly, a barely perceptible movement that propels it just above the seafloor, like a small, pale cloud suspended in the cool darkness. It hovers with a kind of gentle curiosity, its eyes large and dark, looking outward into a world without light. There is no rush here, only a slow, endless drifting through the silent currents. And if we travel a little further, we might find a place where the darkness warms. Hydrothermal vents rise from the ocean floor like ancient chimneys, releasing a soft, golden shimmer. They are warm springs, rich with minerals, and in the freezing abyss they bloom with life. Tubeworms, pale and feathery, sway in the gentle flow, while tiny shrimp gather in quiet clusters, their presence a reminder that even in the coldest depths, there is warmth and community. It's a hidden oasis, a peaceful gathering place lit by the Earth's own inner glow. Above all this, a constant gentle rain is falling. But it's not water from the sky, it's marine snow, tiny glittering flakes of organic matter, drifting down from the sunlit world above. Each flake is a delicate gift, a particle of sustenance that will eventually settle and nourish the deep. This silent snowfall never stops. It's a lullaby of falling light, a reminder that the surface is always sending its soft, life-giving touch to the deepest reaches, and as it falls, it feeds the quiet dance of life below. As we descend into the trenches, the water above becomes a heavy, pressing presence, yet the creatures here do not struggle. They have evolved with a quiet wisdom. Their cells are fluid and flexible, their bodies composed of soft, pliable tissues that move with the pressure rather than against it. Imagine a state of equilibrium so perfect that the immense weight of the ocean feels like a gentle embrace. These beings exist in a seamless harmony with the deep, their forms as yielding as the water itself. And then we enter the Hadal zone, named for the underworld, but not a place of darkness to fear. It is a realm of eternal velvet silence. The water here is always the same cool temperature, a constant that feels like the slow heartbeat of the planet. Time itself seems to slow, stretching into a peaceful, timeless dance. Creatures glide through the shimmering dark expanse, their movements languid, unfurling into the vastness. In this serene environment, there is no hurry, only a quiet, graceful drifting through an endless night. It is the ocean's deepest dream, and we are just gently visiting. Hey, still awake? That's okay, you don't have to be. But if you are, I'm glad you're here, floating with me through these deep, quiet waters. If you're enjoying this, a like helps other night owls find this quiet place. These quiet beings of the deep, each in their own way, are like distant dreams themselves. They float and drift, unhurried, in a darkness that wraps around them like a soft blanket. And as you listen, perhaps you too can feel that gentle stillness, that slow, rhythmic breathing of the ancient sea. Let the images of these luminous, slow-moving lives settle in your mind like particles of marine snow drifting down, down into the peaceful depths of sleep. Far below the sunlit waters, in a realm of constant midnight, there lives a creature with a most remarkable window to the world above. The Barreleye fish possesses a transparent, fluid-filled dome on its head, like a tiny glass submarine. Inside this delicate shield, its tubular green eyes rotate gently, always scanning upward. The fluid inside the dome cushions these sensitive eyes, keeping them safe in the crushing deep. These eyes filter the faint, shimmering light that manages to reach these depths, searching for the soft silhouettes of drifting prey. It is a quiet, patient existence, suspended in the deep blue silence, waiting for the gentlest sign of movement above. In the same velvety darkness, another gentle light flickers. The deep-sea anglerfish drifts through the water, carrying its own tiny lantern. A small, glowing lure dangles from a slender filament on its forehead, pulsing with a soft, cool light. This biological glow, called bioluminescence, acts as a peaceful beacon in the silent void, guiding tiny creatures toward it with a quiet, hypnotic dance, swaying with the currents like a tiny lighthouse in the endless night. There is no hurry here. The light sways with a rhythm as old as the sea. It is not a trap of fear, but a delicate invitation in a world without stars. Even deeper, where the water is still and heavy, something enormous yet unseen drifts in the current. Xenophyophores are among the largest single-celled organisms on Earth, resembling delicate, sandy sponges. These gentle giants filter the slow-moving currents of the Hadal zone, quietly absorbing nutrients from the drifting marine snow. Their porous bodies sway gently, capturing this endless, silent snowfall, grain by grain. Imagine a single cell, so vast you could hold it in your hand, patiently sifting the water for specks of ancient dust, a silent living cathedral in the deep, growing millimeter by millimeter over centuries. In the deepest trenches, where the water is heavy and cool, lives a creature of translucent grace. The snailfish dwells in these deepest reaches, its body soft and almost ghostly. Without scales to weigh it down, it has surrendered to the immense crushing pressure, becoming one with the silent, dark water. It moves slowly, barely visible, a tiny soul in the vast abyss, its delicate fins fluttering like fragile lace. Its delicate form is a perfect harmony with the midnight depths, floating without effort, a whisper of life in a place that feels beyond the edge of the world. And along the soft, cold seafloor, something rolls gently like a living pebble. Giant isopods are oversized cousins of the common pillbug, drifting slowly across the ocean floor. These ancient crustaceans can survive for years without food, entering a state of quiet dormancy, their bodies slowing to a whisper of life. They wait patiently, sensing the slow descent of organic matter from above, a gentle rain of nutrients in the darkness. When a soft morsel settles, they stir from their stillness, a reminder that even in the deepest sleep, life endures, quietly, endlessly. Close your eyes and picture a little Dumbo octopus, drifting in the deep, its ear-like fins spread out like the softest silk, fluttering with a rhythm that could lull you to sleep. It hovers just above the seabed, barely touching the ancient sand, gliding with a slow, pulsing grace that makes time feel stretched and gentle. In the faint, blue darkness, its body may shimmer with a soft, inner light, a tiny lantern of peace. It drifts as if in a dream, never in a hurry, always perfectly at home in the silence. Deeper now, in a realm where oxygen is thin and time stands still, the vampire squid floats like a soft velvet blossom. Its dark red body is draped in a webbed cloak that wraps around it, a protective blanket in the endless quiet night. This is no hunter, but a patient gatherer, feeding on the soft, constant fall of marine snow, tiny particles that drift down like whispered secrets. Each flake is a delicate gift, and the squid waits with a peaceful stillness, a silhouette of serenity in the deep. In this still world, where even the slightest movement is a meditation, the vampire squid's cloak keeps it safe and warm, a cocoon of calm. Far below, where sunlight never reaches, there are hidden gardens of warmth. Hydrothermal vents rise like gentle chimneys from the ocean floor, breathing out soft, mineral-rich plumes that shimmer in the darkness. Around these warm springs, giant tube worms sway in clusters, their plumes delicate and pale, reaching out like sleepy flowers toward the warmth. Inside them, tiny bacteria perform a quiet alchemy, turning the vent's chemicals into a gentle, life-giving energy. These worms have no mouths or stomachs. They simply trust the bacteria to provide a beautiful partnership in the still depths. It's a world within a world, a peaceful oasis sustained by the soft pulse of the earth itself. Through all these layers of water, a constant, gentle snow is falling. They call it marine snow, tiny white flakes of organic matter that drift downward in a slow, endless motion, like a quiet winter storm that never awakens. Each flake is a fragment of a life lived above, a soft gift from the surface world, descending through the blue with infinite patience. You can almost imagine the flakes touching down on the seabed like a whisper, never in a hurry, always perfectly on time. It nourishes the creatures of the deep, feeding them in a silent, steady stream, a lullaby of sustenance that has lulled the ocean to sleep for eons. At last, we sink into the deepest trenches, where the water holds a constant, cool embrace, just a few degrees above freezing. This stillness is so profound that no seasons touch it, no storms disturb it. The currents there move with a slow, meditative grace, like the breathing of a sleeping giant, gently caressing the ancient seabed. It is a timeless place where a single grain of sand might wait 1,000 years to shift. Here, the cold is not harsh, but kind, a soft blanket that preserves the memory of the world. And in that perfect quiet, you can feel the ocean dreaming, deep and undisturbed, holding the secrets of the earth in a soft, eternal lullaby. Imagine the Barreleye fish, suspended in the quiet, dim upper ocean, its head crowned with a transparent dome, filled with a fluid as clear as glass. Within that delicate shield, its glowing green eyes drift gently, gazing straight upward through its own skull, patiently scanning for the soft silhouettes of floating prey. Now let your mind float deeper, where the seafloor stretches out in endless, tranquil darkness. Here, deep-sea gigantism allows the giant isopod to grow, slowly and silently, to over a foot long. Their pale, armored forms glide like ancient guardians across the soft sediment, waiting for nutrient-rich drifts to fall from the distant sunlit world. And deeper still, in the Hadal zone, you might dream of xenophyophores, delicate, sponge-like giants that are but a single cell. They filter the quietest particles from the faintest currents, building a fragile architecture that shelters even smaller, drifting creatures in a hidden, watery cathedral. Descend into the Mariana Trench's crushing, serene stillness, and encounter the snailfish, the deepest living fish ever recorded. Its body is translucent and yielding, completely without the air-filled blazes of its shallow cousins, so it rests in perfect harmony with the immense, embracing pressure. Finally, in the velvet blackness, a soft, living lantern awakens. An anglerfish drifts, its glowing lure casting a gentle, ghostly light produced by tiny symbiotic bacteria. This quiet chemical glow is a patient invitation in the eternal night, a tiny star in the peaceful deep. Let that light carry you into sleep. The Dumbo Octopus hovers with ear-like fins fluttering softly. It drifts like a pale cloud in the silent abyss, its slow, rhythmic motion a quiet dance in the dark. The vampire squid does not hunt. It gathers marine snow, floating stardust with two long, sticky filaments. It drifts peacefully through the oxygen minimum zone. Around hydrothermal vents, warm water shimmers. Giant tube worms thrive without sunlight, turning warmth into energy through a quiet partnership inside. The deep ocean floor wears a velvet blanket of marine snow. Tiny organic remnants drift down from above, feeding the quiet life there. In the deepest abyss, The water stays just above freezing. The stillness is timeless, movements are slow, breathing deep. It's a world of permanent, hushed serenity.
Deep within the quiet ocean, where light fades into a gentle blue memory, life takes on the softest forms. Imagine the xenophyophores, some of the largest single cells ever to exist. They rest on the seafloor like delicate, sandy sponges, filtering the slow currents. These fragile giants absorb nutrients from the sediment in a peaceful, almost timeless process of growth, as if dreaming in the stillness. Even deeper, in the silent trenches, the snailfish drifts like a floating ghost. Its skin is so translucent you might see the soft inner workings of its body, a quiet transparency. It glides through crushing pressure with a graceful ease, its very proteins shaped to keep its cells calm and stable. A gentle survivor in the hidden folds of the world.
And in that velvet darkness, a soft light flickers. The deep-sea anglerfish carries its own luminous lure, a tiny beacon hanging from its forehead. It doesn't chase, it simply waits, letting the glow guide curious wanderers closer through the silent midnight zone. A quiet, patient light in the endless night. On the cold, dark floor, giant isopods move in a slow-motion existence. They resemble oversized pillbugs, drifting with a patient stillness. These ancient scavengers wait peacefully for marine snow, a gentle shower of organic matter from the sunlit world above, to float down and sustain them. A soft, continuous connection between light and shadow. And finally, like a small cloud hovering just above the seabed, the Dumbo octopus flaps its ear-like fins softly. These gentle cephalopods drift with a rhythmic, meditative grace, rising and falling in slow spirals, far from the chaos of shallower reefs. In their quiet world, every movement is a soft caress of the water, a dream within a dream. Deep in the ocean, where light fades into a soft, endless twilight, there are creatures that seem to belong to another world entirely. The Barreleye fish drifts through these quiet waters, its head crowned with a transparent, fluid-filled dome. Through that clear shield, its emerald green eyes rotate slowly upward, scanning for the faint, shimmering silhouettes of tiny prey against the dim blue above. Imagine looking through your own skin, as if wearing a delicate glass helmet, your whole world a gentle, floating stillness. It's a quiet life, suspended in the deep, where even watching becomes a dreamlike act. Far below, where the seafloor cracks open, hydrothermal vents rise like ancient chimneys, releasing warm, mineral-rich fluids into the freezing dark. Around these towers, giant tube worms sway in thick, feathery forests, their deep red plumes catching the warmth. They have no mouths, no stomachs. Instead, they hold a profound, peaceful secret, a symbiotic bond with bacteria that live inside them, transforming chemicals into life. The bacteria glow with quiet industry, and the worms grow tall and still, a silent community thriving where no plant could ever root. It's a hidden garden, breathing softly in the abyss. In even deeper, stiller realms, where oxygen grows thin, the vampire squid floats through the oxygen minimum zone like a velvet phantom. It does not hunt, nor chase, nor struggle. It simply drifts, extending two long, sticky filaments to gather the gentle rain of drifting particles. Its webbed arms wrap around its body like a soft, crimson cloak, a blanket of deep red that catches the faintest glow. In that almost motionless trance, it hangs utterly undisturbed, a quiet, patient soul in the silent heart of the ocean. There is no hurry here, only the slow pulse of the deep. And in all this darkness, there is light. Bioluminescence is the quiet language of the trenches, soft pulses of blue and green that bloom like silent thoughts. These glows are not to blind or startle, but to communicate, to camouflage, to whisper to one another across the black. A delicate jelly might ripple with cold light. A fish might hide its shadow by glowing just enough, turning the abyss into a shimmering, underwater galaxy where every spark is a word spoken in the dark. It's a gentle conversation, full of ancient tenderness, floating on unseen currents. And above all this life, a constant gentle rain falls. Marine snow is the endless slow descent of organic particles from the sunlit surface, tiny flakes of dead plankton, fragments of shells, drifting down like the softest memory of light. It takes weeks, sometimes months, for a single flake to reach the deepest trenches, but it never stops. This patient, quiet nourishment. In the silent cradles of the abyss, creatures rest on the soft sediment, simply waiting, knowing that the sea will provide. A never-ending peaceful gift from the world above. Still here, that's so peaceful. You don't need to hold on to any of these wonders, just let them drift through your mind, like the softest current in the deepest blue. I'll keep talking, you just rest. As we continue our gentle journey into the dreaming depths, let the ocean's lullaby carry us further into the quiet. In the twilight zone, where sunlight becomes a soft blue whisper, there lives a fish with a window to the stars. The Barreleye fish possesses a transparent dome on its head, filled with a clear, fluid calmness, allowing it to look straight upward through its own skull. Its emerald green eyes, like tiny luminous gems, rotate gently to track the soft silhouettes of prey drifting in the dim light. Imagine floating in that peaceful void, gazing at the endless gentle glow above, where every movement is a slow, silent dance. Descending deeper into the Hadal zone where time stands still, we encounter beings of immense patience. Xenophyophores are giant, single-celled organisms that form delicate, fragile structures like tiny, forgotten castles on the ocean floor. They filter nutrients from the slow-moving currents, creating intricate forms that provide shelter for even smaller creatures. In this silent world, they are the architects of peace, building quiet homes where life can sleep and dream in the deep, dark water. Now, imagine drifting through the Mariana Trench, where the pressure is so vast, yet the snailfish moves as if held by a gentle hand. This vertebrate has a translucent, gelatinous body, without scales, feeling as soft as a cloud in the midnight blue water. It glides weightlessly through the crushing depths, a ghost of grace in a world where everything else is heavy and still. Here, the ocean whispers secrets of softness, cradling this delicate creature in its deepest, most peaceful embrace. In the absolute darkness of the abyss, a tiny light begins to glow, like a gentle star born of the sea. The anglerfish carries this soft, bioluminescent lure, a gift from bacteria that live in perfect harmony with it. This shimmering light drifts through the quiet water, a patient signal guiding other curious beings closer. It's a delicate dance of light and life, a silent conversation in the deep, where every glow is a whisper in the vast, dark silence. Across the ancient silent floor of the deep sea, giant isopods move with a slow, rhythmic grace. These crustaceans have grown to immense sizes through deep-sea gigantism, and they glide over the sediment like gentle, armored monks. They scavenge for remnants that drift down like snowflakes from the sunlit world above, each flake a memory of the surface. Every motion is a meditation, a quiet pilgrimage through the dark, cold water, where time softens and nothing ever needs to hurry. And so, the deep sea holds its secrets in a calm, endless sleep, where every creature drifts in a timeless, peaceful dream. Deep in the quiet dark of the ocean, there lives a creature that never hunts, never chases. The vampire squid simply drifts, suspended in the water like a dreaming flower, its body wrapped in a cloak of deep velvet black. This cloak can fold around it like a warm, dark blanket when it rests. It does not seek prey, but waits, extending two delicate, sticky filaments into the gentle current to collect something called marine snow, tiny flakes of organic matter that drift down from above. Imagine the peace of that slow, patient feeding, a life without hurry in the endless blue twilight. Close by, another gentle shape hovers just above the soft sediment. The Dumbo Octopus, named for the ear-like fins that flutter on either side of its head, like the wings of a baby elephant. These fins ripple with a motion so soft, so slow, that the little octopus seems to float rather than swim, drifting like a faded petal caught in a timeless underwater breeze. It barely stirs the water as it explores the seabed, a quiet wanderer in a silent meadow of ooze. Watching it is like seeing a thought form and dissolve, weightless and free. In this world where sunlight never reaches, the darkness is not empty. It is filled with light, a soft, pulsing glow of blue and green, created by countless living things. Bioluminescence is the language of the deep, a silent, shimmering conversation that ripples through the water, signaling, hiding, or simply being beautiful. These gentle glows come and go like the slow breathing of the ocean herself, turning the abyss into a constellation of living stars. You can imagine floating there, watching tiny points of light drift past, each one a quiet heartbeat in the eternal dusk. Even the immense weight of all that water is not a burden to the ones who live in it. They have, over countless ages, evolved proteins and lipids that keep their cell membranes fluid and flexible, so they never stiffen under the deep, enveloping pressure. This wisdom of the body allows them to stay supple, to move in harmony with the heavy embrace of the sea, as if the ocean were not crushing but holding them tenderly. Every delicate jellyfish, every soft-bodied worm, bends with the weight, not against it, a calm, quiet yielding that has no fear. And all of this hidden life is nourished by a slow, steady drizzle from above, marine snow. It is a shimmering descent of tiny organic particles, drifting down from the sunlit surface world, through layers of blue and into the midnight zone. Picture a silent, endless fall of soft flakes, each one carrying a faint memory of the light. They settle like a gentle blessing on the peaceful residents of the trench, providing a constant, quiet source of food. This slow rain connects the whole ocean, a quiet thread of life linking the bright day above to the dreaming deep below, and it never stops falling, gentle as sleep. Far below the waves, a fish wears a clear dome on its head. Inside, its green eyes drift, gazing upward through the glass, following faint shadows. Deeper, a snailfish glides, its body a soft, translucent ghost. Its bones are gentle cartilage, its skin so thin it yields to the dark. On the seafloor, a giant single cell rests like a spongy cloud. It sifts the water, catching drifting specks, a sanctuary for the very small. In the velvet darkness, a soft light glows. The anglerfish's lure a distant solitary star. It floats there, a gentle invitation, a pulsing rhythm. Across the sandy plains, giant pillbugs wander, moving slowly, dreaming. They wait for years, frozen, until a meal falls from above. Imagine, if you will, a creature so gentle that it seems to dance through the deepest, darkest waters. The Dumbo Octopus drifts with a quiet elegance, its soft, ear-like fins fluttering in a slow, graceful rhythm. These peaceful beings hover just above the ocean floor, barely moving, as if they're floating through a quiet dream, letting the current carry them in a slow, endless waltz through the velvet darkness. And from the world above, a soft, nourishing gift descends. It is called marine snow. Tiny, shimmering flakes of organic material float slowly downward, like a quiet, drifting memory of the sunlit world. This constant, gentle descent is a silent snowstorm lasting 1,000 years, blanketing the deep sea floor in a warm and nourishing layer, feeding the hidden life that dwells in the eternal twilight below. In the freezing, silent water, there stand towering spires, built not by hands but by the earth itself. These hydrothermal vents release warm, mineral-rich clouds that billow softly in the deep current, creating a quiet oasis of heat in the cold. Around these chimneys, giant tube worms as tall as a person sway gently, their deep red plumes absorbing the chemical warmth. A community living on the quietest of chemistries, far from any sun. This world is defined by a profound and velvet silence. The pressure here is hundreds of times greater than what we know on the surface, yet it feels like a soft, all-enveloping embrace. In this still environment, sound doesn't scatter, it travels in long, slow, undisturbed waves. A distant whale's song becomes a deep, mournful melody that seems to come from everywhere at once, a peaceful acoustic blanket wrapping the entire ocean in a slow, gentle hum. And at the bottom of all this, stretching across the globe, lies a vast, sandy plain known as the benthic zone. It is a quiet and undisturbed expanse, a desert of the deepest blue, where the water remains a constant, cool and comforting temperature. This timeless bed cradles the ocean in a shimmering, patient embrace, holding secrets in its soft sediments, as still and silent as the quiet, steady beating of a sleeping planet's heart. Just drifting, on the edge of a dream. Good night. Deep, deep down, in the quietest part of the world, a snailfish drifts. Its bones are soft as moonlight, flexible and translucent. It holds a secret in its cells, proteins that keep its membranes fluid even under the weight of the Hadal zone. So still, so gentle. Imagine a single cell, vast and delicate, a xenophiophore, like a forgotten dream of sediment. It builds its home from drifting particles, filtering the slow current, a silent architect, creating fragile lacework in the deep, soft, and ancient. In the velvet darkness, a shimmer drifts. An anglerfish's lantern, a soft, bioluminescent glow. It hangs in the water, a quiet beacon, gently guiding those who are curious and near. No rush, just a slow, luminous invitation. The vampire squid, a name that murmurs mystery. But it is a tender scavenger, drifting through the quiet, oxygen-poor waters. Two long, iridescent filaments gather the soft snowfall from above. Marine snow, the last kiss of sunlight. So peaceful. Giant isopods move with a slow, rhythmic grace. They are gentle giants, grown large by the deep's own whisper. They drift across the ocean floor, and then rest for months, fasting in perfect stillness. A silent, patient dance. Down there, in the quiet deep, the darkness is not dark. It glimmers with a silent symphony of soft blues and greens. You can feel the light, almost as a warmth, as creatures speak in shimmering signals, blending into the water's ethereal glow. Imagine the softest touch of starlight, drifting in the vast stillness. It's a secret language, whispered in gentle pulses, a silent conversation in the deep. Watch the Dumbo Octopus, a gentle dream in the water. Its ear-like fins flutter like soft wings, carrying it through the perfect silence. You can almost feel the weightlessness, as it hovers just above the seabed, gliding through the midnight zone. Imagine the soft, rhythmic flutter, like a heart beating in the deep. It moves without hurry, a spirit of the quiet dark, where time slows to a peaceful drift. And now, something gentle begins to fall. Marine snow, tiny shimmering flakes of organic matter, drifting slowly downward like a quiet winter storm. Feel the soft descent, each flake a whisper of life, falling through the vast stillness. This gentle nourishment feeds the silent communities living in the trench, a constant, soothing fall that covers the deep in a blanket of peace. Deep below, warm sanctuaries glow. Hydrothermal vents create mineral-rich clouds that shimmer against the cold, vast backdrop of the deep. Around these warm, soothing places, tube worms grow in soft, white clusters, swaying gently in the slow currents. Imagine a quiet garden in the dark, breathing in the warmth, a soft oasis in the eternal night. And now, feel the deepest embrace. The pressure in the trenches is a constant, enveloping hug, over 8 tons per square inch. This heavy stillness creates a world of profound quiet, where time itself seems to drift slowly and peacefully. Let this vast, silent weight cradle you, a deep, soothing pressure that guides you gently into sleep. The Barreleye fish drifts in the deep, a tiny dome of liquid glass on its head. It looks up through its own skull, seeing the soft shadows of prey above, filtering the faint, silver light that trickles down, so still, so vast. Giant isopods, gentle, ancient, pill-shaped creatures. They glide on slow currents, their bodies slow, their hunger a distant whisper. They can wait years between meals in the quiet, heavy dark. Just drifting. Xenophyophores, giant single cells, fragile as lace made of mud. They sit in the deepest trenches, soft and still, filtering the water's hidden minerals, like quiet anchors holding the silence. The snailfish silk fine, translucent, barely there. It lives where pressure would crush anything, yet its body accepts the weight, moving slow, as if floating in a dream. A ghost in the trench. Anglerfish, a tiny glowing pearl in the velvet black. Its lure shines like a faraway star, beckoning softly, drawing life closer in the endless, still abyss. Then a gentle meeting in the deep slumber. Soft, velvety wings. The vampire squid drifts, an ancient relic wrapped in shimmering darkness. Its body glows with a faint, iridescent light, fading softly into the endless shadows. The Dumbo Octopus glides, ear-like fins fluttering in slow, silent motion. It hovers just above the seabed, scanning the soft silt with delicate, searching arms. Towering chimneys of stone rise from the deep, where warm, mineral-rich water breathes slowly into the cold. Pale tubeworms sway like quiet ribbons in this hidden, peaceful garden. A gentle, endless snowfall, tiny particles of organic light drift slowly, softly downward. This quiet descent. A soft, nourishing blanket for the creatures resting on the silent floor. So deep, the Hadal zone, a realm of perpetual twilight and absolute stillness. The water is cool and constant. Here, the slow, rhythmic movements of life feel like a quiet, steady breath. A gentle giant, a single cell draped like a delicate sponge, drifts through the deepest trenches, building its quiet form from the silent minerals that slip through the water. In the crushing stillness of the Hadal zone, translucent snailfish glide without scales, their bodies like liquid glass melting into the shimmering midnight blue. Behind a dome of crystal-clear fluid, the Barreleye's tubular eyes turn slowly upward, searching the faint, ghostly light for silhouettes that float like distant dreams. A tiny lantern of living light sways on a soft filament above the anglerfish, a gentle beacon in the velvet dark that whispers to curious souls through the heavy, silent water. Like giant, armored pill bugs from a forgotten garden, giant isopods drift across the sandy floor with patient, deliberate steps, holding time in their slow, eternal patience. A pair of soft, ear-like fins flutter with the rhythm of a resting heartbeat. Carrying the Dumbo Octopus just above the ancient seabed, a gentle ghost drifting through the cathedral quiet of the deep. Imagine the slowest snowfall you have ever seen. Now slow it down 1,000 times more, that is marine snow. A glittering, silent flurry of nourishment falling forever through the eternal blue twilight. In the cold, crushing darkness, a shimmering plume of warmth rises like a quiet breath from the earth itself, and gathered around this hidden hearth, whole gardens of white tubeworms sway in a current that has never known the sun. Bioluminescence is not a flash, but a soft bloom of living chemistry, a quiet blue-green thought made visible, a scattered constellation of tiny drifting souls lighting their own gentle way through the endless night. Down in the Hadal zone, named for the realm of spirits, the silence becomes a physical presence, a heavy, velvet weight that holds you still, where the deep trenches sleep wrapped in a cool, perfect peace. And with that quiet image of the deepest, stillest place, I think our journey into the abyss can settle for tonight. Your mind has floated down through sunless gardens and gentle constellations, and now it is time to rest. If these drifting stories helped you find your way towards sleep, leave a soft like in the quiet. Subscribe, and I will be here again whenever you need a voice to guide you into the calm. Good night, sleep well, and may your dreams be touched by the soft blue glow of a hidden world. Rest now. Everything is exactly as it should be.